the amplitude of the force. I'm going to get technical. So,
How many deployments do you do before you make the decision that you want to go to the Tier 1 counterterrorism unit, DEVGRU SEAL Team 6? And what was the thinking behind that decision?
yeah. Well, since all that information is already out there, I guess I could speak more freely on it now. Usually you do one or two deployments or one or two platoons. Um, the individuals over at Dev Group want experienced operators to work at that level. And so I actually went over there after I screened after my first platoon, and I was just told I got picked up, but I was told, go do your other deployment. There's 40 guys that are ahead of you that have been around a lot longer. We like you. You're what we want over here, but go do your second deployment, and there'll be a spot waiting for you to try out when you come back. So it's kind of like how that was kind of the what I got from the instructors over there when I screened.
So that is fascinating. I've never heard something like that before. So you put in, when you say screen, you put in like a packet or paperwork, you go talk to them, and then they tell you, if I'm understanding this correctly, you got a lot of potential. We like where your head's at. But you're just not there quite yet. When you come back, you can do green team in a temp selection. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, no, I think I was just, I think I was, I mean, they just had, guys that had screened before me, right? So, it's kind of like, a pecking order, right? I mean, I did one platoon. There were guys probably years of experience ahead of me. And so it was just, for me, it was the first time I was allowed to screen. And so I just said, like, why not? This is where I want to be. And I was going over there. I was screening, expecting to not be able to go over there after that next deployment anyway. So I didn't, I didn't expect to be able to, get picked up and go over there early, which, there are cases which guys do. And I think that's pretty cool.
As much as you can, you said buds, there was only one moment where you had a moment of weakness, and maybe, like you said, it was just exhaustion, maybe more than anything else. Which did you find to be more difficult and challenging, becoming a Navy SEAL or going to DEVGRU SEAL Team 6?
I think screening for Dev Group was a lot more stressful than buds. I think buds was everything I'd done in my whole life prior to that. Just, I worked hard. I never quit. I was determined. And if you just keep going, you're gonna make it. Now, granted, you got to have your head between your shoulders, and you can't be an idiot to make it through buds. But the main point of buds is if you want it or not, right? If you really want to be there or not, physically and mentally. And if you want to be there, then we'll train you, right? So if you don't quit, you're going to be there. And as long as you can get through the evolutions and pass the evolutions, you're going to be there. Over at Dev Group, it was more on your skill of how well you performed. And, for me, that took a lot more out of, there was a lot more anxiety there because you were constantly being tested, even though you were always tested going through buds, but you were being recorded, and everything that you were doing was being scored, and those scores were put out in the open for everybody to see. So if you had 45 individuals going through class, let's say 80, every day you'd wake up, you'd find your name on this board, 1 to 80. Yeah. Marcus. Every day, it would be somewhere on this board that, you know, how well did you shoot the day before? How well did you do on your, you know, PT test? How well did you do this? How well did you do that? You know, much of it's on, you know, shooting. And so if you have one bad day, you can be down at the bottom of the list, and that, you know, that'll cause a lot of stress and anxiety going into the next day, thinking, man, I hope I'm going to be here. So it's definitely a different mindset. For me, it was, you know, it was definitely a lot more cerebral going to DEVGRU than it was going through Buzz.
On that point about, you know, the rankings and kind of having that stress of knowing